Question number 4 says, sketch an example and create a mapping diagram of what this relationship could look like if it was not a function. Okay, so we want to keep in mind here that functions mean that your y values cannot repeat. Okay, so it's easy to think here in terms of your x values repeating, but we're paying particular attention to the fact that to be a function, you cannot have any repeating y values for the same x value. So what that means is that to be a function, they're all separate. So if I wanted to show it not being a function, that means I could start down here at 0, 0. My pen's not working. There we go. Start down here at 0, 0, and then maybe at 20 miles per hour, I'm 100 feet, but then I'm also 300 feet. And then I move maybe 40, I continue and I'm here, and then I'm changing, but then at 60, I'm at the same. So then if I draw this graph, so we can see we're no longer moving at that constant rate. Okay, so it's not a function because I can see that as I'm moving 20 miles per hour, I'm 100 feet away, 150, 200, 350, 300 feet away. So I'm maintaining that constant speed of 20 miles per hour for 200 feet. And then I'm changing, so I'm good and I'm good. But then once I hit 60 miles per hour, I'm again maintaining that same constant speed for 50 feet here. So anytime you see your y values repeating, you're not a function. Keep in mind that your x values are allowed to repeat. Okay, so this is not a function. So in blue, I'm going to do no function because I'm going to draw another graph here just to specify. I'm going to use a different color. Let's use green. Okay, you're allowed to repeat your x values, meaning if I'm starting here, I'm allowed to say, well, here I'm traveling, and then maybe at 30 miles per hour, I'm keeping the same distance, and then I'm keeping it, and I'm increasing, and I'm keeping it, and I'm increasing. Okay. So there's a difference here. Whenever we're talking about functions, we are allowed to repeat. We are allowed to have multiple x values for one y value. That's allowed. What causes it to break, what causes something to not be a function, is if you're saying you're trying to be in two places at once. That's impossible. Okay, so it's not a function. So in blue here, when my y values repeat, it's a no-go, not a function. However, I am allowed. Think about all of those graphs we saw where I flattened out here. That was fine because that just meant I wasn't moving anymore. With the diving problem, we weren't swimming, we were just staying in the same spot. However, whenever we saw these overlapping parts, again, if we think about that turtle problem, it meant it was splitting into two completely separate people. And some of you were commenting on that in the Desmos. You said it's impossible because it would mean you have to be in two places at once. It's exactly what we're talking about here. To be a function, that cannot happen.